I'm so happy you're here. Happiness Solved is the place where we explore everything you need to become the best possible version of you. This is Sandee Sgarlata, and today I've got some exciting news for our dedicated listeners. We've just launched our exclusive members-only portal. This is your ticket to a world of additional content designed to deepen your understanding and engagement with the Happiness Solved mission. To learn more about all of the exciting benefits, stay tuned until the end of the episode where I will explain in greater detail. For those interested now, head over to happinesssolved.supercast.com. Today is another amazing conversation, so let's get started. Darien Craig, it's such a pleasure to see you. I love your background. I love the name of your brand, Y'all Sweet Tea. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am phenomenal. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better.
That's right. Yeah, we got the backdrop set up. We've obviously we're in a Zoom world now, and we film a bunch of podcasts and do a bunch of content on our own. So I was like, I need to at least spice my office up a little bit so it's fun. I don't have to move. I just turn my computer around and I'm here. So
Yeah.
it's already ready to roll.
I tell you, I know. I mean, I've had different backdrops because I'm in my fourth year of doing this. And my husband and I downsized and we built a townhouse, which I love townhouse living as opposed to the big home. It's just different stages in your life, And so I was able to design this the way I wanted it. And, I like it. Is it ideal? No, of course not, but it's all good.
I like the efficiency of it, especially small business and like the grind of you don't have time to go do all this and set up and go somewhere else. Like just the efficiency of it. I look like I'm in a podcast studio, turn around and I'm back to working and you're rolling. So it's efficient for me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about for sure. All right. So we're going to talk about your brand, Y'all Sweet Tea. I love that. Y'all.
Yeah.
And you're from Alabama. I love that. And are you still with your high school sweetheart? I love that.
Yeah, we met right out of high school, and actually, my old fishing buddy, really good friend still, he tried to go out on a date with her, and she said no to him that he was too young, and then he passed me the ball and said, "Well, here, this is Darien. He's not too young. He's your age." And so he shot his shot and then just handed me the ball and let me run. So it was
I
kind of
love
a funny
it.
story. We joke about it all the time, but
That's
uh,
awesome.
yep. And
That's
then we just had our first baby boy. He's a year and a half now, and now I'm getting the dad life. I've got a picture of him drinking a glass of tea right behind my desk. So
aw.
that's a lot of fun now.
Yeah, I have one son, and let me just tell you, it goes by in a heartbeat. In my mind, he was born yesterday, and he turns 24 this year. So
Yeah.
it goes by so fast, and I can't even believe it sometimes. I think, oh my gosh, he's going to be 24. Like, how is that even
Yep.
possible? Right.
Yep.
All right. Tell me about your backstory and what prompted you to go into the entrepreneurial journey and to create a brand of sweet tea. I mean, I know it's huge in the South and it's becoming more and more, you know, big, a big thing across the United States. But
Sure.
what was why was it that you said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur? I'm going to do this?
I just, from a very, very young, a weirdly young age, 10, 11, my mom has stories of me saying things about the word entrepreneur before I even probably knew what it was. But I think the main thing where I started that was in high school. I was given, my aunt has a little business, and I was given a box of like 200 white t-shirts. And well, I knew I could make money off these shirts, but there was nothing on them. I needed to print something on them. And at the time, I was doing a bunch of bass fishing, and I built this, like, I was fishing tournaments, and I was starting to become known as bass fishing. So I literally had my signature, like just my regular signature, printed on the front of these shirts, and a picture of me fishing on the back of them. And I didn't have money to pay for that ink. I just got these free shirts, but I was in high school, I didn't have the money for that to get them printed. So I worked a deal out with the print shop. If y'all print the shirts for me, I'll give you half of them for y'all's inventory. So now I've got 100 finished shirts, and I just sold those at the high school, like to my friends and kids all over the school, a shirt with my signature on the front of it. And so like I hustled this deal with the print shop. I hustled a teacher into letting me store all the shirts in his closet, and I'm like selling $8 t-shirts out of the back corner of the closet in between classes. So I sold 100 t-shirts in like maybe the 11th grade. And I knew then, I was like, people loved it. I was loving selling it. I was loving the whole process of everything. So I knew pretty early that I was I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't have the talent or the skill set to focus in class, not book smart really at all. I just, a couple things I like focusing on, but class wasn't one of them. So I just felt like I was a little different, I guess, in that fact. And I never let that, I just focused on that being a strong suit. Like those things, I noticed that all the smart kids in class weren't hustling stuff on the side. I was. So it's like they have their strength. She has her strength. I've got my strength over here. I'm going to run with it. And so out of school, started a couple little small businesses and they all failed. And I was working for a guy who doing social media pictures and for this big trucking company. And I got fired out of the blue one day with literally I had no money at all. I had $7 on that Monday, and that $7 paid for. I just bought lunch and breakfast to store at work so I'd have food for that week, but literally had no money left. And I got fired that Friday, which would have been my last paycheck. And it was out of the blue. I was doing good work, and I just knew that that day was the turning point of my whole life, that I never want to work for someone ever again. I never want to be dependent on one person paying me ever again. Just because how I was devastated by it. Like I loved the job. I thought I was doing really good work. And so at that moment, I was like, I'm never working for someone again. And that paycheck is what bought the first bags of tea, the first bags of sugar, the first jars that we ended up selling tea out of. And so I often joked and always said that I don't like that guy, the guy who fired me, the guy that owns that company. But it was also a blessing in disguise. It was like, if it wouldn't have been for me getting fired, I never would have had, or who knows if I would have had, but I wouldn't have had at that time that pivotal moment of like, I never want to work for someone again. And it's funny, there's a lot of really high profile entrepreneurs that have a similar story of that. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank has a very similar story. And it's just funny to see, like, you realize I've had enough. I think I can do it my own way. And so then that's how Y'all Sweet Tea was born. And just quickly, I know we'll probably get into that later on, but it's like that thought we're from Alabama. Sweet tea's our thing. That's we're born up with. I've got a picture of me in a diaper and no shirt or pants on, bowls all over the kitchen floor where I've just made a mess, but my bottle has sweet tea in it. Like that's just how it was for us. So when we got older and I get in this entrepreneur like midway through high school, I said to myself, I think we could sell this sweet tea. Like my Nana's sweet tea is really good. My business partner Brandon, his mom's sweet tea was really good. I can remember saying like this stuff's so good we could sell it. And so then a couple years later is when I get fired from the job, and I just started thinking like, what if we brought that tea idea back? And that's really just how it started.
That's amazing. I love the story. And you said something really pivotal that I want to emphasize. And you said if it wasn't for getting fired, it was really
Yep.
a blessing, right?
Yep.
And I just want to remind the audience that moments like that in our life, when you can get to a point and you can say, this happened for me, not
Yep.
to me, right? So
it's a perspective thing. It's all perspective,
right.
and it's you see on. I make this when I tell this story. I make a reference to Facebook posts, and you see someone who's always you've got the people like our friends
Yep.
from town who always complaining on Facebook about something, but
Yep.
then you hear the other person who we were in the same class together. I know that they have a similar scenario, but she's always really positive on Facebook. They're just the random posts. It's like she's always positive, and it's just a perspective that you bring to life. And I think it's such a big deal because it's like it's exactly what you just said. That happened for me, not to me. And I could have very easily, and I think it's okay to be upset about those things. I certainly was upset
Of
on that
course.
drive home,
Of
but
course.
it more fired me up to prove them wrong than it did for me to just like cross my arms and pout. They're like, you can just pick one of the two because you're gonna have to pick either you complain about it and pout forever and let it weigh on you forever, or do something about it and turn the corner. So very pivotal moment in my life, and something I'm very very proud of as well.
Well, I'm glad you are, because that's so huge. Because and in any given moment, and this is like the foundation of happiness, right? At any
Sure.
given moment, you have a choice. And yes, of course you're going to be upset. And I always like to remind my audience that the happiest people on the planet experience the full range of emotions. And it's okay to get upset. It's okay to be angry. we're human. We're supposed to feel that. If we don't, then we're going to be like a volcano, and one of these days it's just going to erupt, right? And become postal, which I don't even know if people
Yep.
even say that anymore. It just
I
came to
still
me.
use it. I use
You
it.
still use it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's so important because you had a choice at that moment, and you chose to lemon make lemonade out of lemons, or
Yep.
tea out of tea bags,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Water.
You got. Yep.
That's
No, you're
awesome.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah. So, what has the journey been like for you? Because it's so hard, and most businesses fail in the first 5 years. And it's hard getting funding, and then it's stressful because your suppliers don't give you whatever the scenario is. You've got so many different situations on a daily basis. Talk about that journey for you and how you've kept your head straight, so to speak, to keep you moving forward when life happens, especially in your business.
I think that starting with the thing that I see that people do wrong the most, or the reason that a lot of people fail the most, in my opinion, is not fully mapping out their who, what, when, where, why. And like to the most basic, we learned that in the seventh grade about that's how you break down a problem, but it still applies in life for me every single day. And I use that weekly or every new project we have. When I started into the business, I always just stuck to that simple of a game plan of like, who are we going to buy? Who's going to buy this product? How can we get it to everyone? And like, just literally break down everything from the most fundamental, basic questions that if you answer all of those questions and go into detail, not just the basic stuff, but literally like really, really get granular. It's like you pretty much wrote the road. You wrote the roadmap for yourself using your own answers, not like if you wrote this roadmap and you trust your gut and you do a couple of sample testings and prove that it works, just follow the roadmap that you wrote out. And yes, there's going to be a fork in the road. Maybe why do my customers need this product? Maybe it ends up being a little different than you thought, but you have all of those other questions answered. So like it's easy to pivot at that point if you have everything really, really spelled out. And I think I see that most that people don't think thoroughly is they have a good product or service. They have a very quick way to make money, which is post on Facebook, hey guys, I just started this new business. We all go support it. And then everybody in town supports that business like crazy for a month. And then you never hear anything about it again. Well, it's like the person who started that realized, like, we'll use baking cookies for an example. Like she makes really good cookies and she knows that all of her friends and all of her aunts and all of her coworkers and all these people, well, that's the first 50 customers you've got. But expanding past those 50 customers, you didn't think that far yet. And if you want to make a business, a real business, you have to think at that part. I'm going to start with these 50, but then make a plan for what to do after that first 50. Because I think you just see that a bunch. Like in small business, you see people get started and die off quickly. And from the outside looking in, it doesn't have to do with raising money. It can be way smaller businesses than that. I think people just don't think thoroughly all the way through their plan and go really far with that. Dream really big. Have a plan for how to make money this month and this year, but also what does 10 years look like and actually write that out. I would love to have my own packaged cookies and I would love to have my own packaged blank. I'd love to be in 100 grocery stores and already have written down the vendors of who's going to be selling to the grocery stores. Call those guys. Hey, I'm a small cookie guy. I just started making these little cookies. I'm selling them at home, but one day I want you to be selling my cookies at Piggly Wiggly. What do you need from me to be able to do that? And map that far in advance for dreaming stuff that you're not even close to yet, but you know what it looks like when you get there. And I have done that really well with every part of what we do, just because I see that that's where other people fail at. And if I see that's where everyone else is going to fail at, like I just want to at least make sure I'm doing my due diligence. And when I talk to people about that, it's definitely the main thing that like opens people's eyes of, wow, I was calling on people who sell to grocery stores before we even had a product to just see what it's like. How do you get the products in the grocery stores? And I want to know what that process looks like. We don't even have anything yet, but I think thinking that far in advance has been able. That way, once you get done with your little project you've got, you know what your next steps are going to be.
Well, you said so many important things right there.
Sorry, I got a little tangent. That
No,
question
no,
fires me up.
it's all good. It's all good. I
Yeah,
love it. I love this conversation because what you're talking about is the pre-launch
yeah, yeah.
and
Pre-launch, like
doing everything, all the details that you need to before you actually launch it so that you're very clear, because the clarity is huge, because when you've got clarity, that helps you with your confidence, right? The
100%.
confidence is going to help you when it comes to talking to suppliers once you have the product.
Yep.
But what I really want to emphasize, Darien, what you were saying is you were manifesting your vision
Yep.
is really what you were doing
100%.
by writing down, okay, in 10 years, I want to be in these grocery stores and these are the distributors that are going to help me get there, et cetera, et cetera. That's really incredible.
The funny thing about the word manifesting is really special to me just because I believe in it so much. Probably one of my top beliefs. But I didn't know what the word meant. Like at a young age, even in high school, I can remember the craziest manifesting story that we've got. We live in this little town, and the building that we're in, when they built this building, I would drive by this building, and we live in a tiny little town. This is like a really pretty place that they just built. And I always thought, man, it'd be the coolest thing if I ran a business out of that building. It'd be the coolest thing because it's a beautiful building. We don't have anything like this in town. And just one thing led to another. And I always thought about it. And you pass this building, you know, 20 times a week in travel. And that's the building that we're in now. And I just spent so much of my life just thinking about every time I would drive by, like, where would we be parking at? Just the dumbest little thoughts that don't even matter. But
Right.
like how powerful that is, because if it stays in your mind that much and you're literally thinking about where would we put picnics at for the people who for break, and you're thinking that thoroughly about this plan, you're going to learn one of two things. Either in 2 weeks of doing that, your mind is going to tell you, "Hey, dude, that's a dumb idea," or it's gonna fall off. You're going to stop thinking about it. But if you don't stop thinking about it and it stays in your mind that heavy that you're thinking about where the picnic tables are going to go outside in years down the road when we get the building, you need to act on that because it's not just a random thing, random reason that you're thinking about that. And so we're in that building now, which is the coolest thing for me. And we're so much bigger than this little building. We need to be in a much bigger building now. But it's just the coolest thing now that we're in here.
I love
Manifesting
it.
story. Yep.
I love it. That's an incredible story. And it just shows how when you're putting these conscious thoughts out to the universe, it rewards you and it came back to you. I love that.
100%.
Wow. That's incredible. All right.
Yep.
You've got some numbers behind you. What do they mean? I see behind you,
That
you've got
that ticker.
2322. What is that
Yep.
ticker?
That ticker is our running order count. And so every time we get a new online order, that ticker goes off. So we launched less than 3 years ago, and we've done 232,000 online orders. And so that's people go into y'allsweettea.com, ordering any of our products, which we've got tea, coffee, seasonings, the pitcher you can see right there, like a tea pitcher, and a bunch of other things that just make sense to have in the kitchen with the word y'all on it. Apparel, I've got a hat. But the main thing, I'll just jump into a little sales pitch. But the main
Please,
thing
please.
is Y'all Sweet Tea. This is a bag I opened yesterday on a Zoom call. But essentially, we created a blend of tea. Our competitors would be Lipton, Red Diamond, Louisiana. So it's a product that you boil the water on the stove, make it homemade, just like our grandparents did growing up. So we created our own blend, and inside of this is 10 one ounce filter packs. So each one of these makes a gallon. So you boil your water, drop that bag in, and put the lid on. And we actually, so one of the coolest things, I'll pause and kind of back up. When we started Y'all Sweet Tea in 2015, we were selling liquid tea in a mason jar at festivals and traveling all over. Well, you can't really ship that product because it's so heavy. Like we made really good tea, but you can't really ship it. And everyone always said, "What's the secret to this?" Because this stuff's so good. And it was just a liquid that we would sell it to you like at a county fair or something.
Right.
So once we came up with this product, the goal was let's put the recipe, our family, like the real deal recipe on the back of the bag, which is different than just like how to make sweet tea. Let's put the real recipe on the bag so we can mail this, which is a very lightweight 10-ounce product. But when you get it at home, you can make 10 gallons of sweet tea exactly how we made it growing up. And it's so good. It's so perfect. And that kind of touches on what you said earlier, which is that sweet tea is kind of like expanding across the US right now. It's growing in popularity. We wanted to make sure people know how to make it wherever they're at. And we're seeing a lot of states we wouldn't expect to be growing as fast as they are with our online sales. And I think it has a lot to do with that recipe because we're mailing it to them, teaching them exactly how to make really, really good sweet tea. A lot of northern states, a lot of California, Hawaii, Alaska, crazy states that we wouldn't expect. But I think you're seeing that just because of the recipe that we put together on the back of the bag and how much that's helping like people who aren't used to drinking sweet tea or making it specifically, teaching them how to make it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, because there's definitely more of an art to it. Because I
Yep.
grew up drinking sweet tea and I would just throw the Lipton tea bags in the pot and then, I would just do it by taste, throw in the sugar
Yep.
in it and just taste it.
Yep.
So do you have already made products that you're distributing as well?
We don't. We only have that
Okay.
bag product. So we've got two sizes, one that makes a gallon, one that makes a half gallon. And then we've got behind me, you can see, I want to tell one quick story too. We've got flavors that we launched last year and uh, it's our same exact tea blend, but we added Georgia peach was the first one that we did. And so
Ooh.
it's just it's a peach blend of our regular tea. But the cool thing about online and that ticker behind me is we sold 10,000 of these on our website in 35 minutes when we launched it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 10,000 units sold out in 35 minutes. And so that just like how cool the internet is, how powerful once you build something and get momentum rolling. But so to answer your question, though, we do not have a liquid product, a finished product yet, but that's certainly something that we want to have. We're in discussions with bottlers. That distribution network, you got to have a little bit more solidified
It's
because tea expires really quickly too. So
okay.
once it's liquid, it expires quickly. This is good for a year. So if we mail it to you, you got a year to drink 10 gallons. We're pretty confident that's going to happen. But once we make a liquid tea, we don't want to use preservatives because that really kills the tradition and like the true Southern flavor. So you only have about 15 days with a bottled
Oh,
product. So you've got to have really good distribution to make a liquid tea, get it in the store really quickly, and then it sell quick. So something that we're definitely working on. It's one of my biggest goals, but we're just not quite there yet.
I would imagine that, you'd have to hire some sort of logistics expert to really
Oh
get
yeah,
that nailed down because
yeah.
that's a whole nother
Oh yeah.
type of mindset and skill set. And
Yep.
I mean, I know one of my good friends, her daughter, that was her high school or her college major was in logistics. Like
Yeah. That's a
it's a,
huge thing.
yeah, huge industry. All right, we're almost out of time, Darien. You already gave so many golden nuggets. What is one thing, if you could just give one piece of advice for somebody that is, dreaming about starting a business, what is the most important thing that you can offer them?
For the dreamer. So the dreamer is someone who's spent that weird amount of time thinking about the little details that they're too scared for whatever reason. They're scared of what their aunt on Facebook is going to say, or their math teacher who follows them from high school is going to say, or their friends. Um, I think the most important thing is stop worrying about what those people think, because if you're going to grow a big business, I gave this example the other day. Most people have 1,000 friends on Facebook, just a regular Facebook page. You have 1,000 friends. Out of that 1,000, if you post a picture, you might get 100 likes of your family at Christmas you get 100 likes. I want my business to be much bigger than 100 customers. So I'm not worrying about what those 100 people who are actively seeing my Facebook. So I don't care what those people think. And if it's a negative way, because out of that 100 people, the majority of them are on your side. They want you to succeed. Your
Right.
business idea that you're like thinking of every night, the 100 people that is actively looking at your Facebook, they want you to win. So out of those, maybe 10 of them are haters for whatever reason from your hometown that you're scared they're going to make fun of you and send in a group to. Those people don't care, because if there's 10 people, I want my business to be known by millions of people. So I don't care what those 10 think. That's most important. And that once you just swallow that, just start, because most people also are looking at you for like, just start. That's the main thing, is just starting. But I do want to go backwards. So that's for the dreamer, but also just mapping out. I think a lot of people are scared of, um, and I have been at times too, but just mapping all of those very, very basic fundamental questions out, but writing them down where you can look back at your answers, answering them as thoroughly as possible. So, where am I going to sell this product? And then thinking all the way through that. Well, as of right now, I'm going to sell this product online, this bag right here. But I would also love to get it in Piggly Wiggly. So that's just another answer on that line. But how do you get into Piggly Wiggly? So now you start breaking off all of your answers into more. And so by the end of this, if you thoroughly work through the who, what, when, where, why, you're going to have pages and pages of answers. That is the roadmap to how to do your business, how to chase your dreams. No matter if it's a business or anything, if you answer those questions thoroughly, you wrote the roadmap. That is the silver bullet that everyone thinks we have this special sauce of, man, you must be lucky that y'all had the sweet tea thing. No, I wrote out all of the answers and then just did what it's right there. I did. So I think proper planning in the beginning and the fear, overcoming the fear of what your Facebook friends are going to think. Those are the two main things. Once you get past those two things, it's easy peasy.
Love it. Well, like they always say, if you fail to plan to fail. Right?
Yep.
Got to have 100%. Got to have a plan. All right. So where can everybody can find it at Y'all Sweet Tea? Simple.
Yes, ma'am. Y'allsweettea.com. And we're in a bunch of grocery stores too. So we're in Food City. I think you might be around some Food City grocery stores in your area. We're in the Virginias, North Carolina, but all the store locators on our website, y'allsweettea.com. And yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And best of luck with your business. Ma'am. It's amazing. And I love seeing young entrepreneurs such as yourself just having huge success, because it paves the way for so many other people. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Darien.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and as promised, I'd like to give you more details of what you can expect as a member of the Happiness Solved exclusive community. First, you'll have access to a treasure trove of extra podcast episodes. These episodes dive deeper into the topics we discuss, featuring additional expert interviews only found here. But that's not all. As a member, you'll also get access to a series of mindset training sessions. These recordings are tailored to help you understand the how and why your mindset is the most important asset you have, empowering you to achieve your personal and professional goals. And for those of you looking to find a moment of peace in your busy lives, we've got something special. Exclusive guided meditations. These sessions are crafted to help you relax, refocus, and recharge. Whether you're a meditation guru or just starting out, there's something here for everyone. Becoming a member is more than just accessing extra content. It's about joining a community of like-minded individuals, all on a journey to live life to its fullest and become the best possible version of you. So how can you join? It's simple. Go to happinesssolved.supercast.com and sign up. Don't miss out on this opportunity to deepen your journey with us. Again, that's happinesssolved.supercast.com, and it will also be in the show notes. I am so grateful you're a part of our Happiness Solved family, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your continued support. Again, I am so grateful for you, and I hope that you and your family are healthy and safe, and that your lives are filled with peace, joy, and happiness. Take care, everyone.